Hello, everyone. I'm Bra Mithra, and once again joined by Jay. Hello, Jay.
Hello, brah.
Jay agrees to join me in this fun thought experiment that I had, that being our top 10 anticipated 2025 Kingdom Death releases. How we're going to do this is, well, we know what's coming in the remastered Wave 1. We all know what that's going to be. That's been advertised for a while with Pariah and all those expansions: Pariah, Red Witch, Screaming God, Wanderers, a whole bunch of stuff. But we also have this backlog of beta content that has yet to be turned into white boxes, and I assume monthly releases will continue to be a thing for Kingdom Death. So I thought it would be fun if we look at all the possibilities from beta to white box conversion that we could see this year, and then we'll pick 10 of them. How we get to 10 would be doing 4 white boxes each. That will be 8, and then at the end we'll talk about our anticipated things from the remastered Wave 1, where the actual expansions. That way we're not comparing actual expansions to white boxes and stuff, because obviously, expansions are more anticipated than white boxes, because we know we're getting those this year.
Yep.
And that would give both of us a list of 5. So we're going to call this the top 10 anticipated releases for 2025. So let me quickly refresh everyone's memory, and just to explain what we consider because we're going to start with the backlog of white boxes we expect maybe to see. So we have Bjorn, Summer Cyrus, Pasha, Dark of Star, Hellebore, Sylvania, Sen, Edlin, Gunborg, Repocratus, Voltron, Usagi, Doll, Novice, Esther, Mist, Mellow, Nostin, Summer Aya, Badar, Galanthus, Sun Percival, Phoenix Costume, and then we have the theoretical things that have been teased that would likely be white boxes. Those being Nucalope, Scout Samantha, Kale, because Kale currently is a sim only, but we saw Grimmery was released on, or no, not Grimmery,
Morg.
Morg.
Is plastic now.
Yes, Morg was the Gorm release that was a sim only and then became hard plastic. So we both feel Kale's probably likely.
It's like, yep.
Then, second day of Xmas White Box. We know it's coming.
At some point in 2025.
It definitely will be here in 2025. It's definitely going to be a white box, and it's probably going to be related to Atlas, most definitely. Don't know when, but we know it's coming. Then we have some ones we'll put in parentheses. We know there'll be a big Gen Con release. On the list that we tossed around, we're just saying it's going to be Survivors of Death 2 or Echoes
Might
of...
also be Echoes 5. Yeah.
Yes, might also be Echoes 5, but it's going to be your typical 5 bundle or 4 bundle of Survivors with content. This could also be one that we have no idea, would be an example like Glow. Like, we could get another Glow. That would also fall into here. So that's just the Gen Con release. We'll debate that as. Or the Black Friday. Could be both. Could get Survivors of Death and Echoes 5 for one for Gen Con, one for Black Friday.
We also technically know that an Ancient Gorm model exists somewhere.
Yes.
Maybe on some hard drive, but that's way too vague.
Yes. And then also in these theoreticals, we have the one that was mentioned to me at Gen Con, which is the Female Preacher Wanderer for Valentine's Day, was supposed to be. And then the other one is Gatherism, was meant to be split off. But then, as Jay said, there's things that aren't on this list. Those being like, what's the Ancient Gorm? I don't know when that will be. That might even be in COD. Who knows? I doubt it will be in COD, but Nucalope at least. seems to be the closest to being released.
We
Maybe.
have art of Nucleop at least.
Yeah. Well, we also have an art plastic. It was shown this Black Friday.
I didn't see that.
Yep. But then there's some other things. But right now these are just the white boxes, and what we expect
the
to see.
Kickstarter content, we're gonna put it all under the umbrella of white box.
Yep. Now, that's fair. There could be other things in here. I didn't limit. Jay has not shared his list with me. I have not shared my list with Jay yet.
These will be honest reactions.
Yes. So there was no limitations. I said if Jay could have mentioned something. So if he has Ancient Gorm on his thing, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. It's
Cookbook of Death #1.
Yeah, there's some things that you just never know, right? And by fully admitting, like, there's things that did happen, right? We mentioned Morgan, so that was in a beta and it came out of white box. There will be things that aren't betas that will be white boxes. Zelda. So, what was the other? There was like Guinevere.
Yeah, Guinevere.
Yep. So.
Is the not Zelda, but she looks exactly the same.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. They were in that 4-month period.
Elsbeth, right?
Yeah, Elsbeth. Yep. The starting Survivor period. So I'll begin from that list. Mostly we took from that list. At least I took all from the list I just mentioned. So I'll start with my number 4. I went with Nostin. Nostin was originally released in April 2023. He was the Easter release. He came along with the Pantsu Witch. the North Star.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there was that Easter release with that art that had the Pasha variant or whatever.
The very interesting art.
Yes.
It's
so that was
Nostin
April.
Stone Smasher, right?
Yes. Hero of, like, the Stone Hill or something. Legendary hero of Rubble Hill, I think is what it was.
Mm-hmm. He's got, like, Sunstalker and Phoenix armor on. He's got a cool hammer.
Yes, he's got a cool hammer. He's a like gnome or dwarfish, I mean.
He's like a WoW dwarf.
Yes. I liked Nostin even when we got him released in the beta. I always liked it.
He interacts with destructible terrain, I believe.
Impassable, you are correct. His gear was Stone Smasher, which was a weapon melee club heavy bone. Very powerful, was 1 speed, 6+ accuracy, 8 strength, with Savage, Demolish, which was the new keyword, and that was irreplaceable. I doubt it will keep all that. Like, I doubt it will keep irreplaceable because I bet it would be a seed pattern, and those are limited by the craft rates. Anyway, you can only have 1 craft, so irreplaceable is just like a thing that when it's not a seed pattern.
Oh, not necessarily. It just means if you die with it, it gets archived.
Yeah, but that's the same. Yeah, so seed patterns have the gear craft limits, but this gains +4 luck when attacking a knocked down monster, which is interesting. Very cool.
Pretty freaking solid is what it is.
Yep. And then Demolish was the new rule. Gear special rule. Spend activation. Archive an adjacent impassable terrain tile. If a monster is standing on that tile when it is archived, the monster is knocked down. It's neat.
It's a little specific, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think terrain removal is like an interesting concept.
Just manipulation in general. Like shoving the dung beetle ball around.
Yeah. Exactly like that. Also like the knowledge that we got in Gambler's Chest weird. Like, you pick up a topple pillar if there's one on the board.
Wait, isn't the dung ball impassable terrain?
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff this could do, but we're
get rid of the dung ball.
We're not talking about. Yeah, you could also get rid of the egg sack under his boot. We talked about all the funny stuff you could do. I don't think this will be the same.
Fair enough. It'll be a little tightened up, I hope.
I'm assuming this will be a seed pattern.
Likely, or maybe an indomitable, but probably a seed pattern.
Yeah, I think this will probably be a seed pattern. with it could be, maybe it'd be an Indomitable, but it doesn't, not really attach to any monster. I don't even know what monster would you attach this to, but this being an Indomitable resource, yeah, maybe you attach it to Dung Beetle Knight, because Dung Beetle Knight kicks the thing through the terrain and stuff.
Maybe.
But you never know.
Like TBK, or like Lion God is really all about terrain.
Yeah, this could be a Lion God thing now that there's Silver Cities kind of maybe being taken off of it. Never know.
Yeah.
This would be a neat Lion God IR. Lion God IRs.
Well, we know they exist in COD, probably.
Yeah. Either way, I thought this would be a fun one. I actually like Nawson as a mini too.
Oh, he's super cool. He's very unique.
Famously confused him for Giant Zack.
Or Giant Zack for him, anyway.
Yeah.
The absolute lad that is 15th Zack.
Yeah. But I really like Nawson. I thought he's a cool one, and I thought this was one of the ones that doesn't really need too much work, and I was kind of surprised this didn't come hard plastic faster. When I saw that it was April 2023.
Yeah, that was, oh, jeez, yeah.
So that's my number 4.
My number 4 is actually, I would love to see a hard plastic Pasha.
Yes! She's the scissors, right?
Yes, I would love to see a seed pattern Pasha.
Because she would have been first. She was first lines out, one of the first years, with 2022 then.
Yeah, Easter 22. So she was like the 3rd or 4th beta. She had the cleavage keyword because, hey.
Funny joke, haha.
Yeah, it's funny joke, haha. I think scissors are a really cool design space that you can do a lot with. We know scissors are in COD with Dark Flower armor.
Mm-hmm.
I like Pasha a whole lot.
Yeah, she could be the Easter release. It's we had not seen her. It's kind of weird that they didn't. They did the variant of her, like I mentioned.
Yeah, they did the variant with no skirt,
Mm-hmm.
and she, though that was a naked, or not naked, but that didn't have the beta content.
Yeah.
The beta content was the Ashen Shears, which were weapon melee scissors, two-handed bone, red up, green right. Connecting both of those, you get cleavage 3, which is +3 luck to wounds, persistent injury locations. They're also slow, frail, and block 1. 1 speed, 6+ accuracy, 6 strength. They're really quite good.
Yeah, they were good. But I agree, just having scissors weapon in some sort is neat.
Yeah. And then just like Willow, I would love her for it to be a seed pattern that gives you the scissors novel proficiency. I think that'd be a really cool way to do it. We've seen that kind of thing before with Kalenium having cleaver proficiency and there being cleavers in Gambler's Chest.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we get Pasha. And then there's scissors in COD, and it's a nice little bit of synergy.
Yeah, I agree. She might even, you never know, they might get more too. It's like she might get a character card. All these could be different.
I mean, everything gets a character card these days, pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know if cleavage carries over, just because we didn't see it in Frog Dog, and Frog Dog has that same ability on 2 weapons, right? The Vertebrae and the... Oh, I'm losing my... what's the name of the dagger?
That is the Vertebrae net.
Oh, is it the Vertebrae net? So, is there only one weapon that does it?
I think it's just that one, yeah.
Oh, okay. So we know cleavage didn't carry over to the weapon, so I doubt the word does. The keyword, I mean?
The gear rule's probably gone.
Yeah.
But they've been doing that for some reason, getting rid of gear rules and spelling things out.
Yeah. You know what, it'd be neat if that just was the scissor thing? Kind of like how saw just has the saw word. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So if that was just the scissors thing, you just scissors attack or give luck on persistent injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Would be neat.
Yeah.
Good choice. No, yeah, I thought about Pasha. So my number 3 is this one's just going to be quick. It's Nucleope. We've been waiting Nucleope for so long.
Yep.
I think it has a good chance of coming this year. Mostly because I think the demand is there and they're aware of it. So that's why I think this one will come out before Ancient Corn.
Oh, yeah. Yes, obviously.
Well, I just...
Ancient Gorm was a blurry, zoomed-in photo from one update a year ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just meant there could have been any vignettes. They could have done anything. Doesn't need to do Nucleope, right? Because they always mentioned, like, they've mentioned... What's the other monster? The one from Gambler's Chest that was... Woe Phoenix. Could have been that.
A thing? I have never heard that name.
Yeah, there was a Woe Phoenix, which was supposed to be like a variant that was in Gambler's Chest. So could have been that. Just saying, there's been other things that have been mentioned. What's the other one? Well, Devil Slenderman's in COD. I know there's been other mentions of other legendary monsters.
Devil Slenderman.
So
yeah,
I think
there's always Taste's Silent Mother.
Yeah, see, there's always other things you could do.
True.
And Nucleope was teased a long time ago. The original time it was teased was 2019. After Gigalion. Yeah. They mentioned it after Gigalion. So it's been waiting for a while. I think it's popular. I think it's a good choice because, Antelope's in the core game rather than doing an expansion or something. Not like Woe Phoenix isn't. That's why I said Woe Phoenix could also see it. I think the vignettes... Most likely, when you do a vignette, it's going to be a core game one until they run out. Because it just makes sense, because then it doesn't require expansions. But nothing else to say about it. I hope it's a 2x2, but I have a feeling it'll be a 3x3.
No, it'll be a 3x3. That 2x2's dead and buried.
Yeah. That was my number 3.
My number 3 is actually Survivors of Death 2.
Is that you're going with Survivors of Death 2, or are you going...
Survivors of Death 2.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what generics it'll be, but I am fairly confident in saying it'll be a black and red armor. It'll be a simulacrum wielding survivor. And then probably... Well, then obviously a Screaming Vandal, and I'm not sure about number 4. But I think it'll be the remastered Rave 1 armors, and I think it'll be Survivors of Death 2.
Yeah, maybe. What do you think will be in it?
Content-wise?
Yeah, you think of... Because Survivors of Death 2...
So it'll probably be another simulacrum that you can get from Pariah.
Oh, okay.
Scab, whatever they're called now.
Yeah, like for Dog, gotcha.
Blood Gear. So I think it'll be another, a new simulacrum. I think it'll probably be, maybe like a red, like another weapon for black and red armor, because we know black and red armor has weapons. Maybe a scythe for black and red.
Yeah.
And then probably a Screaming God, Indomitable.
Oh.
And some kind of secret fighting art, knowledge for the last one.
So you don't think it will do a strain fighting art?
No, I don't think there'll be a strain fighting art. I think it'll be 3 items. I think it'll be 2 a rare gear, a craftable item at the resin, whatever it's called in Witches, an IR, and a knowledge.
Yeah. I was going to put Survivors of Death 2. That's the one I would have went with as well, rather than Echoes 5. I think Survivors of Death 2 is going to be the new thing going forward, at least for a bit.
Yes.
Here's what I thought. If I would have put it on my list, I was going to say I hope it gives a generic node replacement knowledge again.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it'll be like a Node 1, probably.
Node 1 what?
A Node 1 CC milestone knowledge.
Quarry?
Yeah.
See, I thought...
A Node 1 quarry knowledge.
You think? See, I thought, like you, Survivors of Death 2 would be a great place to shove a generic Node 2 Nemesis one?
I mean, maybe, but
Because
Red
Kingsman,
Witches has knowledge.
yeah, but Kingsman, Lion Knight, and Atlas don't.
True. I mean, they're not Kingsman, but Lion Knight will have it probably in COD. Atlas is, guess got the kids.
And Slenderman.
And Slend, yeah, it's true. Slendy and Lion God will almost certainly get their knowledges in COD. I think it'll be in Node 1 Quarry.
Yeah, it's a good one too. No one quarry because that gives Gorm and
Well, like either Node 1 Quarry or Node 1 Nemesis.
Node 1 Nemesis
right?
would be great too.
Because Pariah's in that pool.
So is Manhunter and Butcher, who doesn't have one either.
Yeah, but I mean, like within the release pool.
Oh yeah,
2025.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I also said Node 2 Nemesis because of Red Witches being in that remastered wave.
Yeah.
Yep,
True,
I agree.
True.
I didn't put Survivor's Death on there, but I agree.
I like the Echoes type survivors. I think they're always really cool. Except for the chick with the baseball cap. That's kind of weird. But otherwise, I like all of them. But yeah, they're just nice minis. It's more content. Like I said, it'll be as Survivors 1. Survivors 2 will be the 2025 Kickstarter releases. Probably.
No, it's a good pick.
Yep. Number 2.
Yes. So my number 2, I went with Badar.
Hey.
Badar was released.
Yeah, you love Bizarre.
Badar was released in April of 2022.
It was like the second one, or like the third one. Or
Third one, yeah.
The second was Grimmery. Badar was third, or whatever.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what the hell Badar will be. I would love to see Seed Pattern Badar.
You think? I think it's more likely that we get Seed Pattern Badar than anything else.
Yeah, I've thought about that. So here's the thing with Badar. I don't know what this will be when it comes out at all. And I think that is probably why it's been taking a moment. It's probably why we haven't seen Badar.
If it is Seed Pattern Novel Proficiency Badar,
with Scimitar, just to be clear,
it'll be Scimitar Proficiency if it's a Seed Pattern. If it's an IR, it'll probably still be Sealed, because I think Sealed they could play around.
I think Sealed is really cool. Here's the thing with Sealed. This is what I was alluding to when we were doing our pre-talking. The thing here with Sealed, and at least with Badar, I don't think Badar fits into the current, or I don't think Sealed and Badar's getting a secret fighting art fits into the current way the game works, because you'd have to vault list for this.
Yeah, the design ethos.
Yes, it doesn't.
And also, I mean, I'm not convinced that even Ark survivors are the default assumption of design necessarily.
I agree, but the way that this works is very limiting because of that. It's two gates for an Ark survivor, and I think that's one too many. Because the first gate is switching, or gate 1 is building the Tox Scimitar. Gate 2 is putting it as your proficiency and then unsealing it, and then you get your Crescent Step Secret Fighting Art. But then you'd hit the vault list.
Yeah, you don't have to roll for the Secret Fighting Art at least, but you're still taking.
Yeah.
On like a specialized survivor with a unique thing, you're taking either a Torment or a Pressure.
Yes. So I could see this going down one, kind of like what we saw with Legendary Aya, where Sealed is still a thing, but Sealed probably might just give you a pattern or a seed pattern like Legendary Aya did, and then the seed pattern gives you like...
Or
yes,
the easiest way might just be to be an ability.
Yeah, maybe the sealed just is an ability, or sealed gives you, like I said, a new pattern, and then when you build, or not like legendary eye, I meant like Willow, because the seed pattern is what gives you the novel proficiency.
It would have to give you a regular pattern and also the fighting heart.
That's true. Yeah, because the seed
It
ones
would
go
have
in the
like an
deck.
upgraded Toximitar pattern, but also patterns don't have crafting requirements or consequences.
It's true.
So it's a weird spot.
Yeah, and Badar also fills a weird void where he was pre. I don't since he was 2022, he might have been pre IR.
I mean,
Because he,
Grimray became an IR.
I know, but I mean, like he should probably be a IR spooter.
Yes.
But then with an
His-
IR
his-
spooter, that might be a Toximitar, but then you're not going to have an IR that also had the sealed mechanic with a scimitar proficiency. So he's in like
no, probably.
yeah, so it's like a weird thing. I don't know what Badar is going to be. Cuz
That kind of makes it exciting.
yeah. I can't wait to see him though. If he does become a spooter IR, which is fine, if he becomes an indomitable spider survivor, and the Toximitar is just a spooter scimitar, and then maybe scimitar proficiencies in COD, that's also fine. I mean, I mostly just want to see sealed anyway, but it'd be neat if he did give us scimitar proficiency. I just want scimitar proficiency. And I want sealed to be in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very. It kind of reminds me of White Speaker Sword Hunter, the whole sealed thing. With Excalibur and all that.
Yeah, it's true. Sealed stuff, you never know where it could go.
But
So that was my number 2.
mine's more of a predictable list. My number 2 is Gatherism.
Yes.
That's pretty easy to include. From what we saw on Black Friday made me a lot more excited for Gatherism.
Yeah.
For one, at least the one we saw, that red grass terrain was fantastic.
Yep.
And just having a philosophy that is more impactful in ways that aren't just granting knowledges, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is how you get a bunch of terrain. There's at least one pattern with that upgraded sickle. It seems like there's a lot more to the new philosophies, and especially Gatherism, than there are for something like Verminism, where it's just knowledges. You don't really get anything else.
Yeah.
They seem more like a game impact, right? They seem more like an interesting inclusion. Also, Gathering Chan is awesome, and Echo's Mailed Knight.
Yep.
As much as it's kind of weird for them to have cut Gatherism from GCE and released it separately, it does look really quality. Like what we're getting looks really interesting.
I agree.
There's not really much besides that. It looks like a really solid release.
I agree. My number 1 is Gatherism.
Damn. Damn.
Yes, I agree with everything you said. Yeah, so here's the thing, right? Is it? We kind of talked about this when we were making lists and everything. Is it unfair to put some of this stuff with white boxes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Gatherism it's like a yes, but at the same time, like Nucleope's going to be here too. It's just what can you do, right? Because it's the nature of like the differences of like the product lines in Kingdom Death are so wide, right? Like
I mean,
sometimes
it's
you
not
get
even necessarily that big of a gap, right? Because like Glow is 4 minis.
Yeah, it's just some
Glow's 4
things
minis
are
and a bunch of
just
gear.
some things are just bigger than others, and it's fine.
But like Glow is firmly a white box, or Legendary Survivor, or whatever. But like releases have more content these days.
Mm-hmm.
Seed Pattern Willow was pretty heavy, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'm not
It's
saying
unfair.
I don't think the gap between my excitement for Vidar and my excitement for Gatherism is that vast, right? I honestly don't, because like Seal is so cool, right?
Yeah, it is.
And so is the fact that any new weapon types at all,
Yes.
like not
Cautious
just
scissors. Yeah.
but not just a novel, right? Because scimitar wouldn't. I mean, it could be novel scimitar, but it's not like it's something new, right?
Yes.
Sword. We already have a sword, so the novel's just an extra. But we have nothing for scimitar, so. But back to Gatherism. Gatherism really looks cool.
It looks very, very interesting.
Yeah, and what we saw of it, you're 100% correct. What it adds is way beyond what it looks like for the normal philosophies.
Like the GC philosophies.
Well, even when compared to the tier 2 ones. Like, obviously, because we know it's tier 2, you can't compare it to, like, survivalism, right? That's not fair.
Yeah, but like that's why I compared it to Verminism specifically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So even for the tier 2 of its own ilk, like, it is much more
It's
involved.
head and shoulders above. Like
It does
Verminism,
look like it.
Gourmandism, all of them really.
Yeah. Gatherism looks really cool. There's lots of stuff. You get the 2 minis too. It is 60 USD, so it is like the price of 2 white boxes. So, it's a deep threshold because you need GCE, but and you need to be using arcs to get it, and then also it is random. But I mean, when you get it, you're gonna just include it right away as your tier 2 because you're gonna want to play with it. But yeah, Gatherism is my number 1. Couldn't agree more. Now I'm really interested what your number 1 is, because oh my gosh.
Oh really? Yeah, Cookbook of Death. But no, my number 1's actually Nucalope.
Oh, is it Nucalope? Okay,
It is Nucalope.
that's fine.
I like. Well, one, we know location extensions are not dead
Yeah.
from 15th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I hate fighting Antelope. I love fighting Dragon.
Yep.
I think Nucalope will fill the spot. Because I have a problem with basically every single Node 2 in the game.
Okay.
For various reasons. They all have baggage.
I do agree that they're very like volatile when compared to one another.
Well, like,
Let me explain what I mean by that. When you Croc and Frog and Gorm and Lion, they're very cut and dry what you're getting. You're getting a settlement location, and you're getting a full set of armor that you can build, and you're fighting them at a relative...
They're consistently useful.
Consistently useful, they're weapon types, and they're consistently starters. Same thing with even the Node 3s, because I don't want to just use Node 1 as an example. Yeah. Sunstalker, Phoenix, and Dragon King. Very consistent in what they do. They all have their armor sets that are like the draw to them. The armor sets do cool stuff. One's charged, one's prismatic. But then, yeah, when you look at Node 2s, they're all over the place. The Lope has like no weapons, has one weapon.
Lope has one weapon, and one weapon that's gated to RNG or level 3.
Yeah,
and it's not very good.
Flower Knight thinks it's a nemesis, but it's a quarry.
Yeah, Flower Knight has its whole sense memory thing and Flower Addiction.
Yeah.
Spidicules has Taken. Spidicules, you have to gather silk. You don't just kill it.
Yeah, and you
Spidicules,
can't even get the set made unless
it's level 3, but that's getting changed probably.
It is 100% getting changed, but
even still.
And then Smog Singers are weird because they can remove themselves.
Smog Singers remove themselves, and that
yeah, but I know, I agree. The Node 2s are all over the place as what they do and what they should be.
But I think like giving Lope a location extension and bringing in the whole nuclear thing, because I think we're probably going to get a nuclear spear, almost certainly.
Yeah.
But just giving him more items will make Lope a lot more attractive, and it'll let. Like I said, I just like Dragon King, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Nuka Lope looks super cool. I like his whole story of, yeah, we were testing some antelope stuff, and he ate our nuclear scythe, and we're like, I like vignettes a lot. I like Killian Butcher. I like Gigalion. I'm into it. I'm here for it. I'm strapped in.
Yeah. You know, my favorite thing about the Nucleope 2 is what it could be based on the Millennium, right?
Yes.
It could just be another solid vignette as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
I would love a manga version of the origin story of a Lope eating, the hungry Lope eating a nuclear scythe and mutating.
Yeah. I would like to see a different vignette from it, a different monster from it. Because Butcher and Gigalion they both replace, not replace. Millennium wholesale replaces level 2 and level 3.
Yes.
Gigalion is a level 2 and level 3 variant. I would like to see Nucleope being a level 1 variant as well. I think that'd be interesting.
Or just wholesale replacing Antelope?
No, just like an alternate thing, but you can fight it at level 1.
Wasn't it like a pitch ages and ages ago to be like, if you hunt a whole lot of Lopes, the population will thin and get aggressive, and you'll have to hunt the hungry Lopes. So it might end up being something like that.
Could be. That'd be fine too. Yep.
Yeah.
So we both had those crossover.
Somewhat similar lists.
Yeah, we both gatherers and both Nucleope. Neither of us mentioned the Wanderer. But let's talk about Remastered Wave 1, right? So the reason why we both didn't go to 5 and why we split this off was for the same exact reason that you just saw with Gatherism and Nucleope, because those both made our lists.
Some things are head and shoulders above other things.
But I knew that going in. That's why I said that we'll break off the Wave 1, the revised Wave 1 stuff, which is Pariah, Red Witches, Screaming God, Goth Amy, Hyperlight Drifter, Candy and Cola, Aeneas, and False Messengers. Now, those are confirmed. We're getting them this year. They might even be already off to print. We'll get them this year. It's no chance we don't. So between Goth Amy, Hyperlight Drifter, Candy and Cola, Aeneas, and the Female Preacher Wanderer, which I supposed to be Valentine's Day. That'd be sick if it is. Between those 5, which Wanderer are you most anticipated for?
Oh, Preacher, easy.
Me as well. That's so odd.
Just for different reasons.
I doubt.
No, I think it's honestly for different reasons.
Okay.
Because I've told you this before. I don't like crossover content.
Sure, but there's Aeneas.
Any game ever. The problem with Aeneas is that it's Pad, I love you, but I know the story of Aeneas, and it's a fan art that Poots really liked. And
That's true.
Still feels inorganic to me compared to something like Preacher, that is an in-universe character that was specifically for Kingdom Death by Kingdom Death, that goes all the way back to Adventures in the Abyss. That was male Preacher, but it's still Preacher.
Walter, yeah.
Yeah. It feels more fitting than the crossover content. That's
so
why
did you think we'd have different reasoning? So literally my reason as well, yes.
Oh, because you've expressed...
Not the whole, I don't like crossover content. I think crossover content's fine as well because it's being adapted and retold. I don't mind that. But I'm interested in it because yes, the same thing. It's one of the OGs. Walter was an OG,
Yeah.
Preacher's OG. So I'm really excited to see what that is because it's going to give us a glimpse as to what a Kingdom Death originally was in the settings. So it's like,
And I have a feeling some of the foibles with Luck and him being immortal, I think some of that's going to get ironed out.
yeah. So this is an interesting thing. We both picked it. Interesting that the first Wanderer we might see out of the gate after Luck might not even be a Kickstarter Wanderer. That's interesting because if it does release
Yeah.
on Valentine's Day, we're definitely not getting remastered Wave 1 by Valentine's Day.
Almost certainly, like 99%, 97%
97% chance.
of it not being
Yeah.
February.
So this will be the first one we see after Luck.
Yeah.
It's not why I'm
Like,
anticipating it. That's just a neat little
That is
thing.
that it has the potential for happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at some point after that, in the far future, Great Game Hunter Rogue, which is actually one of my favorite minis ever.
Yep. Which is not on the list because I don't
No,
think
it's
it'll
not on
happen.
the list, but
So-
it does exist eventually.
Just to cover all bases before we say the expansions, we are also not including Campaigns of Death. I don't think there's any shot we get Campaigns of Death this year.
I agree with that, but also it would be super, super unfair to include Campaigns of Death.
Agreed. I don't think anything from that wave will be released this year either. I will go first because I've already talked about this. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about it from all my talking about it on Black Friday. I'm most anticipated Screaming God. Not
It's
even
pretty solid.
Screaming God itself. All I want to see is Parasite Queen.
Guys, we finally know bras taste in waifus. And
I
it's
just want to see
weird.
what a finale replacement looks like that isn't Gold Smoke Knight.
I think it'll be like contextual, right?
You better elaborate on what you just said.
But no, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna say that and leave it. No, I think if you meet certain thresholds or like milestones, your finale will change from the campaign finale into Parasite Queen. I don't think it'll just be a from campaign creation thing. I think it'll be like if you get to the heart of the Infinity maze or whatever, you'll find something, and it'll be like the Parasite Queen looks at you, and now you push your timeline back to when you're 35, and you fight Parasite Queen.
Yeah, maybe.
That's how I think it's going to happen.
So you're saying that we story leading up to the finale?
Yes.
But yes, I agree. I want that.
But it'll be like an in-campaign unlock. It won't just be a Parasite
Sure.
Queen is your finale.
I mean, currently, what's our stories for our two current finales?
The
Gold-
hand gets angry that your big brain or Gold Smoke Knight shows up.
Correct. Cold Smoke Knight shows up. That's one of them.
Hey, at least now we know he's the elemental protector or whatever.
That is also, I mean, it's very reductive to say this, but it kind of is true. I stand by that this is kind of true. Also, the Great Devourer just kind of shows up.
I mean, it's there the whole time.
It's
right?
there the whole time, and you're helping raise it and everything, but then
It's also not a finale. It's a core.
That's true. You know what? That's true. Then the other one, Dragon King. Dragon King's one of the best with Tyrant. That's a good story. But then, yep, God Hand. God Hand's currently, when you fight the hand and you do arc, he says, hey, that's different. And then,
Well, I mean, not necessarily, because you could play Arc, People of the Lantern.
That's
and
true.
He'll show up and he won't have Suspicious.
That's true. He'll just show up. So yeah,
That
they
is
both
weird,
just
huh?
show up. They both just show up. So I'm super interested in the finale. I'm super interested in something getting teased. Super interested in there being a story. Even if it is, hey, what's that thing in the middle? We better go back and investigate it because we reached the center of the Mario Kart Rainbow Road.
Yep, yep.
Even if it is that, that's still good.
It's some
It's something. I know there's Hunt Event 673, which is like Golden Ember. I know that exists.
that's existed since like 1.3 or whatever.
1.5. It was added.
What was it at?
It was added. Golden Ember is an entirely new Hunt event, so I know
Oh,
that
right. 'Cause,
exists.
Finale used to be Old Smoke Night, didn't it?
The yes, correct. So,
But yeah,
I mean, Screaming God, also that's really cool. I'm glad to. I'm looking forward to seeing what a Node 4 looks like. That's
like an
not the king.
actual Note 4.
Yeah, so I mean that'll still be cool. I'm really interested. I don't even know if the story is still there. Maybe it is, but the original pitch for Screaming God was it like stampedes through your settlement. I think it
Yes.
like, and it destroys everything, and then you have like try to read. That was a cool. I don't know if that's still the case.
I bet it is. I bet it is.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to still see. But
I
my most
believe
anticipated
Taste also.
expansion, 2025, is Parasite. I mean, Screaming God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My number one is fairly easily, and everybody sees this coming. Red Witches.
Yeah.
Bra's disappointed.
No.
No.
What's your
It's
second
Red
one?
Witches. Oh, number two is Screaming God.
Okay, so we both put Pariah at 3.
Yes. Well, that probably again for different reasons.
Probably, but that's what I was sighing at. That I was like, oh man, that means we both put it at 3.
Yeah, yeah. No, but Red Witches. The only thing I'm apprehensive about with Red Witches is the resin thing. But besides that, one, I don't like not a single one of the current Note 2 Nemesis. Granted, I haven't played Atlas firsthand, and I
Yeah.
haven't played the COD version of Lion Knight. However, the Lion Knight fight as is very vanilla and boring. The Kingsman fight is notoriously a pain in the ass. And I'm in the vast minority of people who really doesn't like Slender Man. I think he's really annoying. I think he gets into infinite loops too often. It's just not fun for me to fight. So I am hoping, against all hope, that we get a Node 2 Nemesis that I like. It's got interesting mechanics with the scaling number of monsters, because it's you first fight Brawl, and then Brawl and Nico, and then Brawl, Nico, and Seer. It comes out of the box with Synergy with Pariah. It comes with a whole bunch of gear, the whole craftable black and red set, the weapons, they drop their bows. I love the White Cult a lot. It's my favorite, like, group or storyline. Kingdom Death is the White Cult versus the Twilight Order. And we're getting lore about that specifically. I think it's the expansion with, besides Gambler's Chest, with the most story events.
That's what was said, yeah.
It just looks really cool. And again, the only thing I'm apprehensive about is if, along the same lines of Bullfrog Dog's Copper Problem and Black Knight's Iron Problem, I'm only apprehensive about just kind of not being able to craft the gear because we don't have Griffin yet, and we don't have Inverted Mountain yet. Besides that, it looks like such an interesting expansion, story-wise, mechanically. The models are beautiful. All of the armor models, the Nemesis mod. It's cool. It's awesome. And I want to know too. I don't hate.
Yeah. Yeah, the Node 2s are there. Yeah, Node 2s are struggling.
Yeah, both Quarries and Nemesis.
Yeah, Atlas is probably the best. I agree. I like Slenderman though. I like Slenderman because of the. I think Slenderman's really cool, really good at teaching you, like flows and stuff, and like I think fighting Slenderman improves your understanding of Kingdom Death in total, like going forward. So
Sure.
I do like Slenderman for that reason.
It's less of an RNG check and more of a knowledge check than most misses.
Yeah, and you
But
really
again,
need to take advantage
bad
of
luck.
like opportunity strikes.
Yeah. I just have really bad luck, and almost every time I fight him, I wind up in an infinite loop of perform gloom.
Yeah, that can happen.
But yeah.
Red Witches, I agree, look
I
really
don't
cool.
like Pariah.
Well, Pariah didn't make the list, so we don't have to talk about Pariah.
We don't have to talk about him.
Yeah,
He can't hurt
I'm
us.
not too worried about the crafting of the gear and stuff. I don't even know if you'll be getting resources. I think it will probably just be narrative of the stuff you mentioned.
Maybe.
I think you'll just go into those mines and you'll get the Red Dragon stuff, and it'll just be narrative about it being gone, or stuff like that, or the resin and all that stuff.
Maybe.
But yeah, it is something to think about if we do need it, especially if copper is needed, because there's no way of getting copper at all.
Yeah, that's so weird that Bullfrog Dog doesn't have a copper den.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yes, so those are our 10 things that we're most anticipating, but there was some crossover, so it's not actually 10. But 2025 should be a good year for white boxes, for expansions. This will be the most expansions we've gotten in a year, because we had 2023 was just Gambler's Chest. I know Gambler's Chest had tons of stuff in it, but then last year was only Millennium, Millennium Frog Dog and Black Knight. So like only 2 Kickstarter things and 1 monster expansion. I guess 15th Annie
we're
was
stupid. We forgot Pathfinders of Death exists.
I don't think we'll get it this year, but it's possible. I don't think we'll get it this year, but Pathfinders of Death, yes, that was true. That was mentioned to maybe be happening this year. I don't even know.
I still wouldn't put it in the list.
I don't even know anything about it. That's correct.
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming.
You don't know enough.
I also don't know if it's even coming.
Yeah, that's true.
But that was fun. Thank you for joining me in this thought experiment.
Thank you for having me.